Okay, so we are back. This is a really fun interview, one that we've been looking forward to doing since the last crash course because we know how valuable the mentor mentee relationship is. It has been a game changer for this program. And so we picked two of our current students. One has been with us for a much longer period of time. One is just finishing the first 8 weeks, but they have been paired up as the mentor and mentee. So we thought it would be kind of fun to introduce you and get their experience, their point of view of what it was like to be matched up together through the last 8 weeks. So I'd love for you guys to just sit back and hear about this unique element of our program through Erin Kelly and Fran Graven's point of view. So we're going to start with Fran. Fran is a consultant manager at Solution Design Group, which is a Minneapolis-based IT consulting firm. Fran, how long have you been in our program?
I've been in the program 6 months.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so far, what have been your results physically, mentally, emotionally, metabolically?
Sure. Yep. So physically, I've lost 14 pounds, which was right at my goal, right about at my goal. Mentally and emotionally, I've learned a lot. I have really, I think, mentally become a lot stronger through this program. I have completely tried to use the model that is in this program to have an impact in lots of things in my life other than just weight loss. The self-coaching piece of it has really helped me gain a lot of control in areas that I was looking to get some control over. And again, not just weight loss, but other areas of my life as well.
Yeah, good. Perfect. When we first started working together, I know you were struggling specifically with weight that had been like just kind of ever so slightly creeping on.
Right.
And you were dealing with a lot of frustration. So set the stage of what your life looked like 6 months ago before you had dove in.
Yeah. Wow. So I've always worked out pretty much every day for my whole life, since like 8th grade, actually, which is kind of weird. It's a long time, but so that's always been part of my life. I've always eaten pretty healthy, and I had done some intermittent fasting, and so but just over the course, I would say, of for sure the last 10 years, going from 40 to 50, weight just like slowly kept creeping on, and it seemed like whatever I would do, I couldn't really stop it. And it was really slow. And then last March, when the pandemic hit, I mean, I went from going to work every day, just like so many other people, to being home every day. And I used to always joke at work with people and say, I can't work at home because I just eat all day. And it's true. And so last March, I'm sitting here and it's March, it's April, it's May, it's June, it's July. I go through the whole summer. I'm in my swimsuit, and I had gained, a lot of weight. Like for someone who's 5'1", it really made a big difference. And I kept seeing your program, and I kept thinking I need to do something. And so that's what I did, is I just contacted you and I said, could we talk about it? And I just really felt like I needed help, and I needed to get control over my situation, because I didn't, I'm still working from home. Nothing has changed, but I have completely changed. I'm not snacking all day anymore. And I was able to lose the weight. So, that's really what happened to me. And I think that has happened to so many other people. I mean, I know a lot of people that I know are still in that situation. So I just really realized I had to do something. I had to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's, honestly, that's why we called this the counterintuitive way to lose weight. Fran is such a great example of the epitome of health. Works out every day, makes really good food choices, But when you start adding hormones into the mix and you change ever so slightly your lifestyle, you do get different results. And it all starts with how you choose to think about it, how those thoughts make you feel, and what those thoughts have you behaving as. And so that was the shift. And it is very counterintuitive to what most people think. Most people think, oh, I've gained 10 pounds because of COVID. I better go out and work out twice as hard. And that's really not it. It really is a hormonal issue. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. Early on, there was something pretty powerful that had happened. Speaking of thoughts, tell us a little bit about that.
So I do not like public speaking, and I was asked at work to do a presentation on something, and I agreed to do it. And, you know, I wanted to do it, but I was just like, oh no, I was dreading it. And so I have the model, the self-coaching model written in my office, and I literally just sat here and I walked myself through the circumstance of public speaking. And, you know, what am I thinking about that? And all my thoughts were negative. You know, I hate this. I don't want to do this. I'm not, what if I screw up? You know, all those thoughts. And so I just kind of kept walking myself through it. And I got to the point where I was thinking thoughts like, this is really important stuff that I need to share with people at work. And I am qualified to speak about it. You know, I do consider myself an expert in this area. And I all of a sudden just started thinking about it totally differently. And I felt like excited about it, and I wanted to do it. And I did the presentation, and, you know, I was really proud of myself, and I totally, attribute that to going through that model. And then I think I contacted Tracy and told her what I did because I was so excited about it. Yeah. But that's just one example. I mean, I use that model. I used it with my daughter when she was afraid to drive, you know, and so yeah, that was really powerful for me because I didn't really grasp, you know, it was early on, and I didn't really grasp how I could take that model and use it in other areas of my life. And that was the first time where it was like an aha moment for me that it worked. You know, it was my thinking. And so that was really cool for me.
Yeah. I love the fact that this has an impact on so many different levels. It has an impact emotionally, mentally, of course, metabolically, physically. A lot of women are able to finally get a grip on their hormones. I have women who come into this program wanting to lose weight, and they leave with a completely different income level because they've learned how to think differently. And I know that sounds crazy to the people out there who are listening, but that's what happens. So, Fran, tell us, why did you decide to become a mentor? We know that you got to your goal, and we know you learned a lot, but we kind of threw out the call to people who had been through the program and asked if anybody would like to mentor. And you were one of the first that raised your hand.
Yeah, right. So I'm kind of one of those people that like goes all in. And so when I joined this program, I was all in, and it worked really well for me. And I was super excited about it. And like my family is like, don't get her going on that program because she won't shut up. So like anyone that wants to talk about it, I'm like, it's awesome. And then I'll just start talking. And so I'm just really passionate about it and excited about it. And, you know, for me to get the results that I got, I was blown away by that. And I just really wanted to help other people. I wanted to be there to share like my experience and the things that I learned, and like the little like hacks, if you will, things that had helped me. And so the opportunity to help someone else was like, I totally wanted to do it.
Was there anything surprising that came out of the experience of mentoring?
Well, the one thing that I didn't, you know, I just thought, oh, I'm going to be a mentor and I'm going to be there to help answer any questions that Erin has or provide any support. Or I didn't really realize how much I would get out of it. And it was an opportunity for me to go through the program again, like alongside of Erin, and to go through it again, to learn something twice, like that really has helped me. I really have learned a lot from it. And I wasn't really thinking about it that way. At the time, I wasn't thinking that I would continue to learn, but I have really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear that a lot, that it really does offer kind of this different level, a deeper level of learning. And so we are really excited about being able to provide that to these people who have already mastered the program, that they can take it to this deeper level. So Fran was able to share her experience. She was able to inspire. She was able to be kind of that sounding board to Erin. Erin is just today graduating from our Fat Adapted Intensive. She spent 8 weeks becoming Fat Adapted, and now she's moving into Mastery. So Erin, I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us about where you live so we can all be jealous, and what you do for a living, and then why you decided to join the program.
Okay, well, I'm Erin Kelly, and I live in Moraga, California, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it's one of those things where every day I pinch myself and think, I can't believe I live here. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. And having come from Minnesota, I was, it's heaven.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
And you can come visit anytime, Fran. And I'm a real estate agent here, and I'm in my family's real estate business. And that's why I came out here, is to join that and to be closer to some of my family. And then I sell Cabby. So Cabby is a home-based clothing business, and that's how I met Tracy, actually. Yep. And I've been doing that for almost 17 years. And when I was in Minnesota, it was my full-time job. And now I just dabble and have a little fun and get a new wardrobe every 6 months. So there you go. I decided to join the program. Well, I definitely needed to lose weight. And I had gotten into, I was somebody who took COVID very, very seriously. And I have a 75-year-old aunt who has dinner with me every night, and I want to keep her safe. And so I've been really, really home, serious about it. And so, it just, ever since I got to California, I started putting on weight. And I find, especially now that I'm in menopause full on, that it's really easy for me to gain it and hard for me to lose it. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not really, really diligent, it just happens so fast. And it just happened pretty quickly when I got here to California, stress and all that. And then the pandemic sure didn't help. Right. So I had gotten to a point where, I was, feeling really bad about myself, number one. And number two, the thing that I have tended to do in the past is gain a lot of weight, lose a good chunk of it, but get to a point where I'm like, oh, I feel good. I'm good enough. And never really get to my goal. And I saw in this program a way to actually really do that. So my goal is to be the size I was when I got married, which was a very long time ago. and I look at my daughter, who's an inch taller than me, and I think, why wouldn't I weigh the same thing as her? I mean, there's no reason why I wouldn't. So that's been my goal. That was my goal. And the other thing was, in terms of this program and joining this program, is that I have a gal on my Cabby team who's a friend who I've known for a long time. And she has taken her business and absolutely blown it through the roof. I literally was like, what the heck is going on here? where did you get this? And I found out it was from being in this program. And she didn't have weight to lose. She didn't get into it because of weight. But in the end, what she got out of it was really important. And now her whole family's, been through it. So that really, and I called Tracy and I said, tell me, I want to know all about it. And next thing you know, here I am. So that's how I got in. And do you want to hear my results?
I do want to hear your results.
So I've lost 17 pounds as of this morning.
Awesome.
And I want to lose 35. So I'm about almost halfway to my goal.
Yeah.
And in 8 weeks, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've lost, I think, a total of like 12 and a half inches. So I feel really good about that. I'm fitting in things that I haven't fit in for a while. I'm moving down a size. Things are feeling too big. Oh my God, it's the best feeling. And this is where I might stop in the past. Like, okay, I feel good. Things are better. I'm fine. I can have this or that. And next thing you know, it's back. And I have no desire to do that. So one of the things I've gotten out of this program is, because we use data, and I'm learning so much about the science of my body and how it works, and seeing the progression via a spreadsheet that I'm monitoring every day and I'm adding to every day, I can see what works for me. And as that's working for me, the big side effect is I feel so much better. Mm-hmm. And I'm someone who has brain injury. And so I have memory problems and I have, balance problems. And I really need to be healthy metabolically in order to, I know that as I age, it's going to get worse if I'm not really, really careful. And I feel like this program has given me those tools.
Yeah. So to be able to gain the confidence that you're going to be able to quite literally live a longer, more optimized life because you're in control metabolically, emotionally, mentally, physically. I mean, how do you put a price on that? Like, I think of that all the time. Like, it's all within my control. And I had no idea. I always thought that things were happening to me, that I was feeling disappointed, discouraged, defeated, overwhelmed because of my weight, because of circumstances outside of me. Mm. That's not true. And that's what I teach my clients. The circumstances are always neutral. It's how you choose to think about them. And if you choose to think about them as it happening to you, you put yourself in the victim, role. If you think about the circumstance as neutral and you have a choice in how you're going to feel about it, then you start intentionally choosing thoughts that generate a feeling that has you in action, taking much, much different types of actions than what you've ever done before. So it's not just the learning the how-tos, learning what actions are going to create metabolic flexibility or optimal metabolic health. It's also learning the science of your mind so that it makes a different type of sense, so that you do things differently. It is truly a self-study, head to toe. Like, I'm like mental to metabolic. It really is. And that's the difference, is that you understand it at a different level. It's a self-study. It's unique to everybody. We all react differently to the foods we eat. We all react differently to our environment. You have to know that about yourself. And that's where I really kind of put my stake in the ground. I'm so committed to teaching people that, so that they feel like they've got control, so that the next time you go on vacation or on a girls' weekend, you can pull these tools out of your back pocket, put them back into play, and jump right back on track. you can go on these things and enjoy these things, no longer beating yourself up and feeling restricted. Like, that's not the life that anybody wants to live.
Right. And what other things I really liked about this program, is there's no gimmicks. There's no pills to take or, shakes to drink or, crazy weird food to eat, and I've done similar kinds of eating programs in the past, but it's never involved that mind and body and spirit part of that process. So it's actually not that hard to lose weight, in a certain way, in a certain sense, but it's really hard to do it happily and to feel like you can sustain it and that you can live that way the rest of your life, and have an emotional benefit from it.
Yeah.
And I loved learning that about hormones, because Tracy, you were mentioning hormones. And I think when people think of hormones, they think of sex hormones, right? They think of estrogen, testosterone. And I never knew that glucose is it glucose? That's a hormone.
Insulin,
excuse me, is a hormone. And that, all of that is trackable and measurable, and you can fix it without pills and without therapies that you have to use a doctor for. So
right. Amen. That's so true. Yeah. I think, living in our American culture, we hear insulin and we think drug, right? And insulin is a hormone that is within our control. Most people can control their insulin level. Type 2 diabetes doesn't have to exist. It exists because we have a culture that feeds us information that makes us feel like it's completely out of our control. And that's not true. So, I completely agree that, once you educate yourself holistically, it changes the whole game. Tell me a little bit about your experience being mentored. Like, how did that have an impact on your success so far?
Well, Fran's really a pain in the neck, so no.
She hounded you to death?
No, it was easy peasy. I mean, Fran's awesome, and I felt like, and I'm not always easy, so I appreciated her calmness, as I would go, I can't believe I haven't lost anything in a week, and she'd be like, oh, it's okay. Here's what's happening. And so for me, it was great. Fran's, very patient and kind. And I knew she was there if I needed her. I don't know that I needed her that much because the program is awesome and you just walk through it. But if I did have questions or concerns, and there were times I did that as I said, I'd go 5 days at the exact same.
Yeah.
How does that even happen? And but now that I've tracked it, I now know that's what my body does.
Right.
It drops. It's like, it starts at a weight, 0.2. And then it's that for 5 to 7 days, 0.2. How can it not go up or down an ounce? But it doesn't. And then all of a sudden it's down 2 points. Yeah. And then it's, so now I'm looking at my tracker going, oh yeah, that's just what happens. Okay. I know what to expect now. But I did use my Irish on her a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to marry the mentors with the mentees. My program is still small enough that I know a lot of people that are coming into it, and I know you both so well. And so I was like, oh, this will be the perfect combination. Like, Fran is a wealth of information, but even though she's a wealth of information, she's patient, she's kind, she lets people kind of find their way, so I knew that no matter who we paired Fran with, they were really going to get
thank you.
a great mentor. But okay, so the mentor-mentee relationship definitely looks different for all the different pairings. How did you guys communicate?
Marco Polo.
Awesome.
And I think maybe a little bit of text in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't remember text. I feel like it was almost all Marco Polo. And
Marco Polo.
yeah, it worked great.
Mhm.
She did not see this face all the time.
We have a big time change.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah,
You
2
know,
hour difference.
So we have a 2 hour difference. So oftentimes I was just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And you know what? All of the mentors, they are in a channel with me because I want the mentors to serve as inspiration, to serve as a sounding board, to serve in a kind of a troubleshooting capacity. My intent is not to have them serve as a coach or back them into a corner of feeling like they have to have all the answers. So they are all on a Marco Polo channel with me so that quickly they can bring any sort of questions that they have to me and get answers and then deliver it back to their mentee. And I will say that that channel is really active. There's a lot of just best practices being shared. And Fran is a really active participant, always giving us her perspective. And it's so interesting because we've heard more than once that perspective of, you know, you go a certain amount of time and then you have a big drop, or you go a certain amount of time of fasting and you might even gain, but then, you know, 2 days later, you're going to drop. And I've heard that multiple times from Fran. And so it's just so nice to know that, oh, that's kind of the normal reaction of the human body, but you just have to kind of see it. You have to see it in the data and just drop the drama, because when you can use data, you can make such better, well-informed decisions, and you come from a place of logic, not emotion. That's huge. So
it is. It's really huge. It's critical. And it helped me so much, I have to say.
yeah.
And I'm a person who has lived an extraordinarily stressful life. A lot of people live stressful lives, but mine has been stressful since I was a small child, and it never really let up. And so, you know, I have a PTSD kind of reaction to a lot of things, but this has really helped me calm down and kind of get out of my emotion body and out of my primitive brain and into more of my thinking brain. So that's been really helpful.
Awesome. Good. So Erin's got 8 more weeks to really continue to master all of these concepts and tactics and
20 more pounds.
Yeah, and to lose more weight, keep her finger on the pulse of that goal that she's got for herself. Fran will be back to mentor the next lucky person. Is there anything else that either of you would like to mention? Any sort of final thoughts? If there's somebody out there that is just saying, honestly, I don't know if I can try one more program, because I'll tell you what, I hear it all the time. I've tried everything and I just don't know if I can take the disappointment of one more program. What would you say to that person?
This is it. This is the thing that's going to catapult you into living the life you wanted to live. And there's just so much support through it, not only from the mentor, and thank you, Fran, for all your support, but just from Tracy and just the way the program is structured. So yeah, do it. I'm an evangelist for things that I have loved, and you won't be able to shut me up about this program.
Right. I know. I would say the same thing. I would, I didn't realize it when I joined. I was really happy that it was just really like step by step. You're walked through it and you know exactly what to do. And that's what I really liked about it. I would say I'm somewhat of a rule follower. And so it worked really well for me to I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing and I just did it and the results were there. So and if you're on the fence, that's where I was. I was thinking about it and I would just say, go for it and try it, because it does work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's truly an investment in your life. It is on all levels, metabolically, mentally, emotionally, physically. And in this day and age, I really can't think of anything better to invest in. So that's what I encourage people to think about. But I really appreciate both of you taking the time to share your stories. They're so powerful. And I really, really look forward to the next 8 weeks, Erin, watching you get closer and closer to your goal. And Fran, watching you continue to mentor like the beast that you are. So thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.